War Eagle Auburn family, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, and we talk about what's going on in the world of the Auburn family spectrum. We're always heavy on the sports here on this channel, but if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. Thank you for joining us. If you are watching live, I know I already said that I'm just so excited for the end of this game and what we just did to the Alabama Crimson Tide. So for this live stream, what we're going to be discussing is an incredible just manhandling of the Alabama Crimson Tide by the Auburn Tigers by the score of 100-81 in Auburn Arena. It was absolutely incredible. They looked like the number one team tonight. They showed they were the number one team tonight. The comments are already blasting out of here. It's going to be hard to get. It's going to be a great live stream. I can already tell. And I know you guys are stoked to be here. So, couple of things as we always like to do when we get started tonight. If you can, post right now in the chat where you're watching from, city, state, international, all of that good stuff that you can let me know where you're watching from with a War Eagle. And then we're going to get this thing rolling tonight. And later on in our show, we will hear what our show is brought to you by, which is the Booster Club. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. 100-81. It was absolutely incredible. Got a little scary there for maybe a few moments, but yeah, it was it was definitely very much in the Auburn Tigers' favor tonight. Now let's look here and see who everybody is checking in. By the way, if you can hear me, let me know if it sounds okay. It sounds a little odd on my end. I don't know why that is. Normally I can hear myself a little bit better in these, but it's coming off a little bit fuzzy tonight. Big Simp, War Eagle, down goes Frazier, Thomas checking in, Kevin Kelly, Devin, Blake. By the way, we are back on Facebook, folks. I mean, it was a long journey to get back there. I'm not even going to go into why we were off of Facebook for a little bit. It was just a humongous mistake, but we're back on the Facebooks. So I hope you guys that follow us over there enjoy that and are able to take that in tonight. I just realized why it's a little bit weird in my ears tonight, and I'm going to fix that right now. I just did. I think I just fixed it. Apologies for if the audio sounded a little bit off tonight. I think I just fixed why it just happened there. Darlene, one of our new channel members, is here. Thank you so much for your support. Hung a hundred on them. Can't talk tonight. Anthony Rudd. I'm not going to be able to say hello to every single one of you guys tonight, but you are awesome. David Wells checking in, one of our Booster Club members and our channel members here from West Palm Beach with the super chat. Thank you so much, sir, for that support as always. Swinging the broom, Steve says. Okay, as you guys know, these reaction shows are just for bouncing around everywhere. The headphones are on, so Booster Club members tonight, you can call in. It's not an open mic night, but those who are part of the Booster Club, you guys can call in. The link is there in the Patreon tab. Cohen, by the way, since I just saw you pop in here, sent you a message on the Patreon app about the Booster Club thing that you need to look at if you can, just to make sure that there may be something going on with that over there for you, since I just saw you pop in. Let's see. Man, everybody is here tonight. Jeez. Best environment in college basketball. Duke has nothing on us. I will respectfully say to Duke that I think that they are still the walking dog of college basketball environments when you consider the history. But in terms of being the modern Duke, yes, we are. And that was a testament to that tonight. Shout out again to the jungle, to the students, to the alumni, to the fans that showed up tonight in Auburn Arena and made this an outstanding environment. I mean, one of the toughest to play in. Did he actually do the crane, Devin? I love it. When you sweep your rival in regular season play, you better do the crane kick on them. It is one of those things that you just absolutely have to enjoy when you have the opportunity to it. My goodness. I don't even know where to begin with all of this stuff. Nate Oats trash talked about our stadium. Yes, he did, which was a very poor choice on his part. You know, you never want to provide any team that you're playing, no matter the situation, what they call locker room material, where you hang it up on the bulletin board and say, this is our motivation for this week. And that was definitely that. And if not for the players, for the students in and of themselves, that was bulletin board material. I don't really think I honestly didn't even go back and watch that headline or that moment where he said all those things, because I just frankly didn't care what he had to say. I do think he probably wishes he hadn't said it at this point. Cohen, I agree, my man. I love him so much. Too many dudes on this team, putt says. I would agree with that as well. We're just too deep. We are just too solid when the bench comes in. There's just Alabama, and let me just say this right up front here. Alabama is a good team. It is fun to chant NIT at them, and it would be hilarious if that actually happens. I expect them to be in the tournament. You can see how good a shooting team they are. You can see how quickly they can destroy a lead on you. They've done it twice to us now, once at their place, once here. The difference is this was at our place, and it wasn't going to become as much of a problem. So with that being said, Alabama is a good team. They deserve our respect in that, but they are not anyway close to as good as the Auburn Tigers. And that is for dang sure. Yes, Cody, thanks for checking in. We bought Pearl for Life. So happy about that. I agree, David. Having some security, stability for the program is going to pay dividends beyond Pearl, however long that is. This makes my whole life a lot happier. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope your life does find happiness outside of this, but hey, we'll take it. Do you think, let me go back here. Bruce can convince that Alabama shooter to enter the transfer portal and we can get him next year. That boy can ball. I highly doubt it. You don't really see that happen a whole lot in any sport, Auburn to Alabama, but it does happen from time to time. I highly doubt that. We're going to get into some other things as well. They turned their replies off on Twitter. No, they did not. Steven. No, they did not. Can I get confirmation? Devin is usually our girl for keeping us on a count of all that. Are they seriously going to be that petty? No way. Oh my goodness. 52% of Bama shots were threes. They made 14, but just got dominated in the paint. Absolutely. So let's look at 3-point percentage tonight. As you said, 38% for them at 30, yeah, that's a pretty good 3-point percentage. But the problem is they got beat in every other facet of the game. We didn't shoot so well from three, but we made them when it counted. Some key shots by Jabari at times. Of course, Katie Johnson, just Wendell Green, you just name it just comes out. They did not. They do realize that we're going to give. There is a concerted effort. There is an organization around this where they're going to divert those to something else. They're not going to get away with it. That's the thing. It's ridiculous. Just take the L and go home. That's all you have to do. Take the L and go home. A lot of different people checking in here. Thank you guys so much for having a great crowd here already. We're already at 70 live. Keep smashing that like button if you haven't already. Share it out on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter. Share it into Facebook groups. Let's see if we can get this over 100 tonight. That'd be a huge goal for us. We do that from time to time, but I know these are the ones where they really drive all that to those type of numbers for us. It's always hilarious to see Alabama fans deflect stuff like this by saying no one cares about basketball. It really is. And look, I'm not going to ignore the fact that football is king and will always be king. But football season's over. This is basketball season. If that's all your, house of cards is built on, then it's going to crumble, and it is crumbling right now. Cardwell gives a little drop off when coming in for Kessler. He plays strong. Gives little drop off when he plays strong every game. I will say that he did have a few rough games in terms of mishandling the ball, some turnover situations. Maybe not the last game, but 2 or 3 before that. he did kind of have a little bit of a drop-off point, but you're right. He continues to show why he's trusted with the minutes that he gets tonight. So looking at that, it's when you try to look at the team stats here, everybody got in the game pretty much, even for just a minute. Let's see here. Cambridge with 18 minutes tonight. That's solid. The second most or the third most off of the bench, it looks like. Yeah. No, that was Cambridge. I'm sorry. Cardwell got 11 minutes. So pretty good, solid night for him. Been a long time coming, hasn't it, buddy? Mac says, Hargrove says, I'm confused about the violation. Which violation are we talking about? You have to clarify that for me. Hughes Life says, I think this shows the difference between Alabama at home and Alabama away. Beat Baylor but lose to Georgia in the same week. There's no question. Alabama is which one are you going to get, and which is why you should take them seriously. If they get on a run, as they did again tonight, they can put themselves back into the game very fast, and before you know it, the game's back under control for them. But when they don't have that support that they have at home, they kind of tend to fall apart. Kyle, where's the Bruce Pearl voice this evening? Do I have a Bruce Pearl voice? I didn't know I did. I had one. Let's see here. Bad start to the second half, though. Yeah, I would. And, part of that, the bad start was magnified from how well Alabama came out. They made some adjustments and came out and got it within, 4 points, 2 points, something like that. So great run by them. You got to give them the credit where the credit is due. And Auburn did make some mistakes. Alabama exploited those and took advantage of those. And there you go. JD Davidson, their touted guy, as who wrote it down here. Minion said 0 points tonight. Killed him. Absolutely took him out of the game completely. David Wells again, sir. You continue to be generous, sir. Appreciate that. Thanks for checking in with us as always, and glad you got to be here to celebrate with us tonight. Thank you for that super chat. Kevlar, the refs kept looking to get ticky-tacky fouls on Kessler while letting Bama mug our players without a call. So here's going to be one of the things that you hear tonight. And from Bama fans, here's going to be one of the things that they're going to complain about is that Auburn got a lot of calls tonight. But they were being overly aggressive with some of their tactics, ways that they were trying to draw fouls or to stop the ball. You want to play with a chip on your shoulder, but at the same time, you don't want to go overboard with it. And Alabama went overboard with it a few times tonight, which was, disappointing to see. I expect a little bit more discipline out of Nate Oats and his team. But even with his comments earlier this week, there was just this almost pettiness that came from Alabama all week. And now they're just being sour and not taking their lumps in social media. Plainsman Murph says, what's with the black and white logo on the back of the things, shape of the heart? That's been around since last year. That was for unity during all of the riots and stuff that were going last year. It's been on all of the jerseys for quite some time. You just may miss it from time to time. We got another Pensacola boy. Dusty, there you go. Alabama does not play high-level defense. If you don't settle for bad shots, you can get 85 plus on them on most nights. Every time Jabari shoots, it gives me tingles. Absolutely beautiful. We are over 100 viewers right now across all of the streams, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But if you can help us get to 100 on YouTube here in just a minute by smashing that like button, that would be much, much appreciated. Bug, thanks for checking in on Facebook. A lot of people just now getting here. I would imagine that everybody is trying to watch the storyline unfold on Twitter with Bama blocking their replies. It's just really petty. Big Simp, I know you want to talk about recruiting. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So we're going to have to put a pin in that for tonight, my friend. The commentators were saying how well Bama plays when things get chippy on the court. From what I saw, we calmly curb stomped them after the technicals. Kindly take several seats, Alabama. There was a concerted effort by the comment, and by the way, we just got over 100. Thank you guys so much. You rock. There was a concerted effort tonight, I thought, by one of the commentators to continue to talk Bama up, and I've said this already in this live stream that Alabama deserves a little bit of credit and respect because I think they're a very good and very dangerous basketball team, but they're not good enough and consistent enough to win night in and night out. That's for dang certain. So I wish we wouldn't try to build someone up better than they actually are sometimes. Proves that Baylor is overrated. I think a lot of people have already thought that. They've lost a lot of their talent from last year. So that's probably not any surprise. Clint's checking in. Clint, I know it's late, buddy, but you don't have the link tonight. It's just the Booster Club members that have the link tonight. I was going to say you need to call in, but we need to talk soon on here, my friend. Cohen wants to see how Twitter responds. I can guarantee you one thing is that at Auburn Memes, Pablo Escobar, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, G Curbo, they are well at work at trying to figure out how they're going to combat this. The funny thing about this is, if they had just let Auburn, Murray State learned this lesson. If they had just let the Auburn fans blast their replies and get it over with, it would have been done. You would have probably set a record for us. It'd probably been like 5,000 replies. But at the same time, now you've just fueled them even more, which is just going to get even crazier. Bama blocking comments like Kessler blocking shots tonight. I agree. How about the description of he's a Volkswagen with a head on it? I believe the comment was about Wendell Green. I think that was about Katie Johnson. I kind of agree with that. I don't know about Volkswagen, but I get what the sentiment they're trying to do. Let's see here. Bruce Pearl swinging a broom after sweeping Bama, worth that new contract already. All right. So have they fixed it? Do they have the replies up now? 2,268 retweets or all of that in just a second. All right. You guys are making me work tonight with all the comments. Keep them coming, though. It's amazing how Walker Kessler's performance always determines the game. On his good games without foul trouble, they cruise past everyone with ease. Big Simp, I know we're good. Tournament time is one and done. And everyone gets a chance at the Natty. Absolutely. So it's fun right now, but we got to make sure that we do this when it counts, when we get to the tournament. All right. Let me slow it down for just a second and kind of focus all of y'all's energy and comments at one particular thing. I want to hear from you in the comment section right now. What's your favorite moment of the game tonight? You can be as descriptive as you want about that. I think that Devin Cambridge dunk, as always, never ceases to amaze and satisfy. But if you had to pick a moment tonight, a play that was your favorite, what would it be? We're going to do players of the game a little bit later on, but that's what I'd like for you to know from you right now. No reply. No, not replies, retweets. They have replies turned off. So we're combating them with retweets. I don't know how that's going to solve that, but random boys off the court. What's crazy is they could have played better. It is very crazy much better they could have played. I know one of the sad things about Dick Vitale's health not doing as well these days is that we're missing moments like this where we would have had him in there screaming, Jabari, baby. That would have been amazing. Final basket with the and one to get 100. That's a good one. Starting to go to the rim. The underhand layup by Green. That was a thing of beauty, wasn't it, Big Simp? That was beautiful. Johnson's three-point shot to seal the game. Every single time Jabari just rises up and hits the mid-range jumpers in the face of a defender. Walker blocking a jump shot. Well, you got to pick one, Ricky, because there's many of those things. Number 20 with the drive and score late to put us up at 100. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Anyway, so I think we could keep going and y'all keep going in there with your favorite plays and stuff. gosh, there's just so much to really kind of process and take in this game and try to break down in a coherent manner for all of y'all. I thought that outside of the slow start in the second half, Auburn played about as well as they could have tonight. I think they responded to adversity and made up for it in kind and did very well at that. 79% from the free throw line, I just noticed. My mark is 80%. I'm still going to be a stickler on that. So if you make a few more free throws, maybe this even as close at certain times as it was, because we were missing a few early on. Still areas for Auburn to improve. That's the crazy thing. This is not a team that is perfect. This is a team that is full of mistakes, stretches where they're not performing as strongly as they could. So as the season continues to progress and they continue to have opportunities to work on those things, that is what is going to determine how good this team really, truly is. But tonight they showed that they are the number one team in the land, and there should be no questioning of it at this moment. Now, Saturday is a whole new ball game. Georgia, I know they look terrible, but let's take it one game at a time. And that's the beautiful thing about having the number one ranking. Even if we had lost it and not gotten ranked number one, or taken it away from us, we've done it. It's off the list. Let's move forward at that point. A lot of people from Pensacola tonight. Jeez, everybody checking in from there. If Flanagan improves, we become such a dangerous team come March. Well, let's take a look at Alan Flanagan. I thought that he came on very strong, especially at the end of the game there. 10 points for him tonight. Missed both of his three-pointers. 4 for 6 from the free throw line. 2 rebounds for him, 2 assists, 3 personal fouls. He was probably in the higher percentage of foul trouble with everybody else and starters. I think you're starting to see him slowly but surely get more comfortable with himself. Takes a lot to come back from a leg injury. And I think he, if he tweaks it ever, or if he has an off night that kind of wrecks your confidence a little bit, am I back or stuff like that? Moments like this, nights like tonight are going to be good stepping stones to getting him to that point, Kyle, as you brought up. By the way, great name. Sabera, great to see him at the end of the game doing what he did. Do you think that Bruce can hold on to his son? That's a great question. I'm also not so sure it wouldn't be better for Auburn and Coach Stephen Pearl to go off and do something while his dad finishes up. Think about it. We can talk about that more later on, but just think about that. Might be in his best interest. I don't think Wes Flanagan's going anywhere anytime soon. Even though he has been a head coach previously and might want to do it again. Maybe he's in line for this coaching job. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But thankfully, we hopefully have a long time. In terms of money, in terms of security, God willing, Bruce Pearl will be coaching with us to 2030. Putting up 100 on Bama is a big deal. They're a good team, and we just completely shut them out and took over the game. They are going after the halftime tweet. Steven, thank you for that update. All right, Devin, you are now in charge of seeing how we do on the halftime tweet. Let's see how long they take to go after that one. Chris, the rumors are that Steven's in line to take over at AU after Bruce retires. Yes, well, that makes the most sense. But I do think that Wes Flanagan deserves a shot at it, and also may be part of that plan. We don't know. Steven's never been a head coach. Maybe he needs to go off and be a head coach somewhere else. We shall see. That's a conversation that'll be fun to revisit every so often, but we don't thankfully have to worry about that too much right now. By the way, guys, incredible crowd. We have gotten up to about like 140-ish, I think. You guys are absolutely amazing. Let me take a short little quick intermission from what we're talking about here. We'll get back to it, your comments and questions tonight. But as a reminder, I always wanted to talk to you about who or what this show is brought to you by. Tonight, it's the Booster Club, which is our Patreon, patreon.com/U2C Network. You can sign up there for as little as $1 a month. You get exclusive stuff there and different little levels. That's the big thing that you can do to support us is signing up there, and it helps us have income to pay for the lights, pay for all this stuff. And so many of you that have already done that, thank you. Thank you so much. By the way, some of you are current patrons. You have messages from me that are not urgent, but somewhat time sensitive. So I would check those if you haven't. Make sure in the app or on the website if you've got a message from me. But there's other ways to help support our content listed in the description, but that is the one that we want to talk to you about tonight. All right, back to it. Back to it here. I think Steven stays at AU. Building a family at Auburn makes sense. Pops down on the lake helping him out. No, I agree. That makes the most sense. Seems to be what could possibly take place, but I'm not willing to rule Wes Flanagan out at this point. At 122 right now, I'm keeping an eye on it. It could be that Auburn, Alabama, and UAB all get in the NCAA tournament. Has that ever happened before? I don't know, but that's a great thing to bring up. One of the things that I've actually talked about on our podcast when I was the main host of that was I won a preseason Alabama showcase, not a tournament, but you see these a lot, showcases where a bunch of teams come together and they kind of change up who plays every year. You invite Alabama, Auburn, UAB, South Alabama, and then some of the minor teams and kind of change it up, and you have Auburn and UAB play every year, or you have Alabama and South Alabama play, however you want to do it. But it'd be cool to see that actually happen. All right, let me get your typing fingers ready again. I want to hear from you in the comments section. Player of the game. Who is it? Who is your player of the game? Just a single answer. You can support it maybe a little bit later. Just a single answer. Who is your player of the game tonight? As usual, you have many suspects of who that could be. Plenty of excuse me. I went down the wrong tube of who that could be tonight. I love the surge in basketball in the state. Good point. Yes, I agree. Yeah, having basketball just be prominent in the state of Alabama is awesome. All right, we got the answers coming in. Wendell, Green, the refs, Kessler, Walker, Kessler, Walker. I think those are probably the two tonight that are going to get the most, picks tonight. You were looking at the wrong one. We're at 2,500 replies. Okay, now we've got the real thing going on, and they're not going to let up on that tonight. Kessler, Wendell. So I don't think I've seen anybody else bring up anybody other than Kessler or Wendell. I would agree. So let's look at Wendell Green tonight. Wendell Green, his stat line, 23 points to lead the team, just dishing the ball, making 3-pointers, making people look silly at times. He's only 2 for 8 from 3-point land, makes all his free throws, 8 rebounds. Your point guard is your second leading rebounder. Oh, it's so beautiful. 6 assists for him tonight in 27 minutes of play. Kessler, 14 points, 6 of 9, 12 rebounds, so a double-double for him. He did get 4 personal fouls, 1 assist for him. And then if we look, and let me go into his stats just a little bit further here. Let's look at the rest of his stats. Blocks tonight, 8. He had 4 steals. I remember that being brought up. That was absolutely incredible for him to do that. Just wow. David, I didn't know you were still here, but thanks for hanging around with us, buddy. Stephen Nash says Kessler affected so many blocks, rebounds, and shots. Dude is an absolute beast. And it's funny because you think these guys are there and they had some scouts and personalities in the NBA draft world. They're talking about that tonight. The conversation started to shift from Jabari Smith to Walker Kessler. Are we going to have a situation where, kind of like last year, where everyone thought Sharif Cooper was the star of the draft, and then all of a sudden it became JT Thor? I don't think so. But Walker Kessler has made a name for himself, and this is on a night where he is, in terms of points, just in the mid-pack there. He's the 3rd highest scorer tonight, but it's his all-around game that is starting to show in shape, which makes him a hot commodity for NBA teams. Big Simp says that he made money. The analyst said that. Yep. I'm fine with co-players, Hughes. I think that's a a very fair statement tonight. So, what else stuck out to you tonight? Anything that we haven't talked about? Is there anything that Auburn can do better? We've kind of broken down some individual games, what they look like. I think Katie tonight obviously had another good game, even though he's not the star in terms of who everybody's talking about. Jabari did Jabari things, 17 points for him. Zap Jasper doing exactly what he's supposed to do, not being the highest scorer, but putting others in position to succeed. He only plays 16 minutes tonight in favor of Wendell. And I think you can see there that even though he's the starter, if Wendell's the hot hand, coach is going to give it to him. Brandon, great question. Everybody, we're going to add this, if I can remember, to every post-game show now. Brandon, if I could give out like a star or something right now, I would. Actually, can I? I just started. I don't know what that does, but I started. Best player off the bench. Everybody answer that now. So, well, here's the problem. Wendell Green's going to win that one. I'm taking Wendell Green away from you all. Best player off the bench minus Wendell Green. Who is it for you tonight? Improve the inside game, 2 points. That's, I'm looking on here really quickly. Points in the paint. It says we had 52 in the paint, actually, which was incredible. Because basketball is a 2-point game. Looking at the schedule, I'm scared of Arkansas. You should be. Arkansas is a very good basketball team with a history of beating us. Let's see. Off the bench, like I said, anybody besides Wendell Green, because he's basically the 6th starter. Cambridge. Let's look at Devin Cambridge. 8 points tonight, 6 rebounds. You know, the funny thing for Devin is he looks brilliant on a 3-point shot, then he looks terrible. And I feel for the guy because I know he wants to do more things than what he's being known for, offensive rebounding and the dunks. But he's so inconsistent with his 3-point shot. But I'm happy that he's at least knocking some of them down. Cambridge. You don't want to see Alabama a third time. Their guards are crazy good. That is very fair. Got a lot of people saying Cambridge is the guy off the bench tonight that stuck out the most. A lot of people, new faces tonight. Guys, if you haven't, please do subscribe. We are very close to, I think, 4,100. 4,001. One day we'll be there. 2,100 subscribers on YouTube. If you can help us get there by subscribing and hitting that notification bell, that would be a huge, huge help. One man can't beat a complete team. You just have to do what AU did to make that one player make the shots. Outburst, early SEC tourney predictions. I predict that Auburn will be the number 1 seed. I predict that Auburn will probably steamroll. It depends on how the seeding happens. It's really hard to pick without seeing until we get closer there. I would imagine they end up in the championship game with a very tough test. Whoever that is, whether that's Kentucky, probably. Maybe someone's gotten it together like an LSU, a Tennessee. Heck, maybe even an Alabama. But I do not want to see them a third time. Whoever said that earlier, I agree with that. Who cares about his threes? The dude rebounds come at the most important times. I would agree. And, when we were talking about that, it's not so much of it's kind of something we just wish that he'd do a little bit better. Not necessarily make them, but maybe take less of them, even though he's, not taking too many tonight. I think he had Cambridge. He took 2 threes tonight. One was like off the backboard. Yes, you can be sure that we will probably be seeing Kentucky again at some point. If this team plays Kentucky like they played Bama, who can beat us? Problem is Kentucky is a much better team than Alabama. Much better team. If that game is played in Rupp Arena, we're in for the fight of our lives. And Kentucky's very good. You better hope somebody takes them down in the SEC tournament if you want that tournament win. Everybody should. David, I thought you were gone, man. You're still here. He's just too excited to be here. If the team gets better by tournament time, maybe limit those runs and sloppiness. They won't be beat. Absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, we can keep those conversations going all night about predictions. That picture will become more clear as time goes on. As you get your final comments and questions in here, let me just do a couple of reminders. We're not going away just yet, but go ahead and get those comments and questions in as we kind of get towards the end of our show. A couple reminders as always. Check out the links in the description for ways you can help support our channel. You can join the Booster Club, which I talked about a little bit earlier. That link's there. Or if you simply just want to stay here on YouTube and be a channel member here, that's only $1 a month. You get access to little emojis and things like that. You can hit the join button. It's easy to find it on a desktop. But yes, those are the two big things that you can help support us here. And we thank you guys so much that are members of that, either one or both, and that do super chats and all that kind of stuff. It does help keep the lights on here. Tomorrow night, we're going live again. Open mic night. You can call in if you want to. Don't be shy. Anybody can call into the show, and I'd love to hear from you. We'll be obviously talking about National Signing Day and hopefully maybe some surprise good news there. I have no knowledge of anything that's going on, so I'm going to be just as surprised as anybody. Sorry, I got an itchy nose right now. Cohen, I'm glad you got that fixed. If I'll go check it out, and if it still, we'll figure it out if something happens. Let's see here. Get back to some of these comments and questions. What if this isn't as hot? What if this isn't hot for us? It looks like we just keep improving and pulling away. I'd say Auburn's playing very hot right now. I'd say that they're on fire. Have they peaked? No. If they had peaked, they would not be making very few mistakes, but there are still plenty of places for them, to improve. And I think that they will do that over time. They've shown that ability to respond and to learn. And individually, I think there's a lot of things that they can clean up and will help the team overall. Not quite, Big Simp. Not quite, Big Simp. Hopefully we get a fast start for Georgia and early. Is it a trap game? I think there are much more likely candidates for trap games than Georgia, but they have done it against Alabama, and they weren't expected to. So obviously don't take anybody for granted. Auburn and 4 over the Bulls. Wow, we're stepping out a little bit there, guys. Fun fact, I work at a local restaurant in Auburn, and Kessler comes in often. Boy eats a lot of ribeye steaks. Outburst. First of all, we might be looking for sponsors here on the show. So if you know that company wants to do some sponsorships here, let me know. Shoot me an email, KyleLoomis@etcnetwork.com. But either way, that is a cool fun fact to share there. Glad you get to. I always one of the things that I want to do, obviously, is come back to the Auburn area so we can have moments like that, because this is great connecting with you all and sharing your thoughts and opinions and stuff, and that's what the heart of what we do and is what we continue to do. But at the same time, I'd love to be there to kind of have those stories to tell. I'm jealous of you having to have those stories to tell. That's why I'm still here, trying to find energy to get in bed. It's hard to come down. I know you got other stuff going on, but that's the hard part about for me is that I'm amped because of this game. I'm amped after talking to you guys, and now I've got to come down. It's midnight here, and I've got to find a way, to calm down. We feed the team often. It's a fun atmosphere, man. I bet it is, Outburst. I bet it is. Shoot either way, even if they don't, want interest in something, like shoot me where that is. I'd love to come by and try the food. I love trying places in Auburn that maybe I haven't eaten before. Who knows? Maybe you'll see some of those type of reviews here on this channel. For those of you that might be new, we do a lot of different stuff, obviously sports focused, but if it's about Auburn, if it's orange or blue, it is what we do. All right, guys, I do think that is where we're going to round it out tonight. Thank y'all so much for being here on this live stream. Humongous, great crowd. We almost got to 150 tonight. You are the best little family. And when I say little, that is only meant that, obviously, because we're not the entire Auburn family, but the little family within the Auburn family. Y'all are the best. Appreciate y'all so much. Smash that like button on the way out. Go share, retweet the Alabama meme situation that's going on over there. You guys are awesome. War Eagle. Hope to see you tomorrow night live, 8 p.m. for the call-in show. We'll be talking anything and everything, Auburn. Until then,